Hey, pardon the sound of my oven. You can hear in the background there. I can't stop it. This is about a new law that I don't believe it's passed yet. I don't know a lot about it, but I'll go over it with you at the same time. So I've been hearing about this. I've seen some videos, but I don't know. I'll read the law and see what it says. And before I get into this law, please watch my very last video. I'll link the video. There's an issue with there's a big issue in the United States, and obviously it's the migrants, right? It's all that stuff going on. Anyways, watch that last video. I don't like to be political, but I do believe it certainly does have to do with Christianity, because it's going to take your freedoms away, and this is what that's what they're trying to do to us. This is all purposeful, guys. So before I read this, I remember, and I thought it was a joke. It was about 3 years ago. I saw something to the effect with Justin Trudeau. So all of this, everything that we're going through in Canada, the world may look at Canada in a certain way, and just so you know, it isn't Canada. It's not Canada's fault. It's the Trudeau government. That's it. Before the Trudeau government was Stephen Harper. He had a good government, or we were doing just fine, I believe. And then Trudeau's government has changed people's outlook on Canada. A lot of people know it's not the Canadian people. Canada for the longest time was known as the kindest people on earth, and we still are. So please just watch me. Yeah. Let's go through this. So I'm reading this basically at the same time as you. So I went over it quickly, so I can't say that I fully understand it. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has passed numerous pieces of legislation prohibiting free speech. So if you're in the States, know this is probably coming your way. Yet nothing has been, so this is like the UK. Like the UK is bad, so. Yet nothing has been as restrictive as Bill 367, an amendment to the criminal code that will prohibit Canadians from expressing an opinion based on a belief in a religious text. If passed, people can be arrested for quoting the Bible on Canadian soil. So you talk about that eclipse coming. There's just so much in that. You know what? I'm going to leave attached in this video the best eclipse information that I've seen by a channel called Daystar. Listen to it. He starts really talking about, when it gets into about 10 minutes, keep watching this. It's in depth. Proponents are cloaking this attack on religion under the premise that it will curtail anti-Semitism. So it's like, when they say when there's a crisis, what's the crisis? All these protests and stuff like that. So is that what they're doing here? They're using this to pass a law? Like, I just wonder if all this stuff is going to disappear when Pierre Poilievre takes over, because he's going to win. Yet months ago, Justin Trudeau stood with Zelensky and the Canadian Parliament celebrating a known Nazi war criminal, giving him a standing ovation. He was an SS. He wasn't a German SS, but he was still, what was he? Was it a Polish SS? It happened anyways under Trudeau. And what happened? Trudeau blamed it on the House Speaker. It should have fallen on both of them, but it should have fallen on Trudeau too. I have no idea how Biden and Trudeau haven't been, especially Biden, taken out of office. So, okay, so this is precisely what the bill would remove from the Criminal Code of Canada's Private Members Bill. So I don't know which one to look at here because there's two of them. Okay, so I'm going to read you. Yeah, I'll come back to that part. So Bill 367, removing religious protections for anti-Semitic expression. It's bringing me to another page, and I think it explains it here. A private member's bill is getting renewed expression for the potential impact it may have. Bill 367 would remove belief based on religious text as a defense to certain criminal charges. So they're removing a certain part of a bill that's in effect, has been for a long time, for religious expression. They're trying to take out a certain part of it. The text of the bill would remove both sections, 319 3B and 319 3.1B from the Criminal Code of Canada. I'll read that in a second. Those provisions provide legal defenses to people charged with the willful promotion of anti-Semitism if it's done in the context of religious expression. Truth is still allowed for now. Of course, the vagueness, hey, I don't like anti-Semitism, I don't like anything towards anybody, right? Of course, the vagueness of these hate speech laws is already an issue. Nothing is properly defined, which makes it very subjective, but remove a potential justification. That's worth a closer look. So here's the defense. Here's what they're speaking about. So here's the first subsection, I think. No person shall be convicted of an offense under subsection 2, which is below in a sec. So A, if he establishes that the statements communicated were true, this is what they're looking to remove. B, so if in good faith the person expressed or attempted to establish by an argument an opinion on a religious subject or on an opinion based on a belief in a religious text, they're trying to remove that. And then to go on in this section, number C, if the statements were relevant to any subject or public interest, the discussion of which was for the public benefit, if on reasonable grounds he believed them to be true, or if in good faith he intended to point out for the purpose of removal matters producing or tending to producing feelings of hatred towards an identifiable group in Canada. Here's subsection 2.1. It's basically the same but a bit different. No person shall be convicted of an offense under subsection 2.1 if they establish that the statements communicated were true. Again, number B, if in good faith, this is what they're looking to take out, this one, B. If in good faith they expressed or attempted to establish by an argument or opinion on a religious subject or an opinion based on a belief in a religious text. So if you and I go to express, well, this is why I said this because this text says this, they want to take that away from you. They're going to ban the Bible. This is what it's leading to. I'm not saying that's what this is, but that's what it's leading to. So, see if the statements were relevant to any subject or public interest, the discussion of which was for the public benefit, and if on reasonable grounds they believe them to be true, or if in good faith they intend to point out the purpose of removal matters producing or tending to produce feelings of this is a little bit different than the first subsection, anti-Semitism toward Jews. So they're looking to take out B. I'll read it again, what they're looking to take out. If in good faith they expressed or attempted to establish by an argument or opinion on a religious subject or an opinion based on a belief in a religious text. So by the way, this pertains to all religions. That's going to anger a lot of people, not just the Christians. But I think, I don't know, it's probably aimed at the Christians. You know, actually considering that we're moving towards a communistic society. That's what this is. That's what Justin Trudeau is. Have you seen his debates in Congress, or you know, like in the Senate? He's getting to the point where you know doesn't answer questions. He repeats the same points. Polyev is saying, "Why don't you answer this? Why don't you answer this? Why don't you answer this? Why don't you answer?" And he comes back. He's literally yelling, like, you have to see the debates. This is why I've been speaking about this. And I'll go back to the first page where it says this. Listen to this. This is something that was written after World War II about the Nazis. So this was someone in a German community, was a German citizen. First they came for the communists, but I wasn't a communist, so I didn't speak out. Then they came for the socialists and the trade unionists, but I wasn't one of them, so I didn't speak out. Then they came for the Jews, but I wasn't a Jew, so I didn't speak out. And when they came for me, there was no one left to speak out for me. That's what's happening. I think it's right to speak out. I'm going to read this first page and then I'll stop the video. It might interest you. It's talking about this. And maybe I'll read some comments from some people on X. I'm not trying to be political at all. This has to do with our faith. This is an outright attack on religion. There are countless examples throughout history, from every area of the globe, where religious persecution led to heinous massacres. Outright bans on religion started off small. What I was going to say, Trudeau is responsible for calling the Old Testament a book of myth. I remember that 3 years ago. I didn't say that. I meant to say it at the beginning of this video, but I didn't continue what I was saying. That's what it says. I forget exactly where, but I do remember it. Lead to heinous massacres. Outright bans on religion. So that's the point of communism, is to take out these beliefs. Outright bans on religion started off small, removing a provision or two until the government deems entire groups of people a danger to society. I discussed the case of Pastor Artur Pawlowski, who was arrested for speaking out against the Canadian government, in particular their COVID area restrictions on medical autonomy. Pawlowski was charged with criminal mischief for preaching the Bible to the trucker convoy. He did not commit a violent offense, nor did he say anything hateful, but the words from the Bible are now deemed as offensive, similar to how the government is labeling words like mother or father unacceptable. Like, what the... Religion demands that followers believe in a higher power greater than the almighty government. Statistics Canada reported that only 68% of Canadians identify as religious, with a notable decrease among the Christian community in particular. The same organization believes that non-Christian religious affiliation will double by 2036. An Angus Reid survey from April 2022 showed that religious tolerance in Canada is at an all-time low, with 22% of respondents saying that all religion is harmful to society. See what happens when the spirit lets go, right? I don't think they're going to like it. But this legislation will prohibit Christians, Muslims, and others from freely expressing their opinions. They speak of banning anti-Semitism, but the law will also target Jews. That this is what happens. Anyone expressing an opinion relevant to any subject of public interest, and this isn't just based off of one place on earth. This isn't just one thing happening. This is happening all over the place. So of course there's danger signs everywhere, red flags everywhere. Based on a religious text will be considered a criminal, a danger to the New World Order. For example, if someone says they are against MAID, child transgenderism, abortion, or anything that is not deemed acceptable by the Abrahamic religions, they'll be accused of promoting hate speech and prosecuted for religious beliefs. It's already happening. I'm just reading some, suppose I'll read this too. Karl Marx deemed religion the opium of the masses that was intended to give false hope to the impoverished, who should fill their hearts with hatred and entitlement. The abolition of religion as the illusory happiness of the people is required for their real happiness. The demand to give up the illusion about its condition is the demand to give up a condition which needs illusions, Marx continued. Well, let's compare how many Christians have survived and done well in life to Mao, to Stalin, to the places that had communism. How many people died under their rule? Hundreds of millions? No happiness? No beliefs? What's happening in Canada will spread throughout the Build Back Better nations under the direction of the World Economic Forum. This is happening precisely on target with our model's forecasts. I believe it. It's rather stunning. I'm sure there are some really accurate forecasts too. You read the Bible, you already know. It's rather stunning how we come to major religious events every 309.6 years. This appears to be a change in beliefs that doesn't necessarily suggest complete changes in religions, but rather moving away from the belief in a higher power. It's because of all the internet we have. That's what it is. I try to tell people. That's what has made people view things differently. Often these are shifts that become more fundamentalist in their belief or a turn towards liberalism. There are two primary cycles. First, we can look at the cycle of change in religion, which seems to follow a 310-year cycle, which of course, the 8.6-year frequency. I don't know what that means, honestly. The second is to look at the derivative of the 8.6 year, which produces a target for a major collapse in religion, which is underway at this time by 2033. I don't know if they mean from this point till that would be almost that amount of time. I don't know. I'll leave this in the description box, and just know to go through the two things that I read. You have to read. You have to click on, when you go to the first page, it'll show you some stuff, but to go where I went, you have to go to Bill C367, highlighted in blue, like the clicker, you can click on it, removing religious protections for anti-Semitic expressions. Very interesting anyways. Not interesting in any good way. God rules, right? Yahweh. This is downright in your face. We're coming to get you eventually.